We live in a world obsessed with the idea of more. More income, more investments, more assets. We chase promotions, side hustles, and the next hot stock, believing that the path to wealth is paved with ever-increasing earnings. But what if that's only half the story? What if the constant pursuit of more is the very thing keeping us from feeling truly wealthy? We feel a constant, low-grade anxiety about money, a pressure to keep up, a fear of falling behind. It's a game that feels rigged, where the finish line is always moving. What if becoming wealthier had nothing to do with earning more money, and everything to do with how much control you have over yourself? What if the key wasn't in your bank account, but in your mind? 7 days ago, I gave myself a challenge. Live exactly like a Stoic millionaire. Now let's be clear about that term. Not a millionaire in the flashy, extravagant sense we see on social media. Not someone defined by luxury cars or sprawling mansions. I wasn't interested in the caricature of wealth. I wanted to understand the mindset of those who have achieved financial freedom, and more importantly, inner peace. Not rich in possessions, but rich in spirit. Not broke in finances, but free from the chains of financial anxiety. I wanted to embody the spirit of someone who has mastered wealth and mastered themselves. Someone for whom money is a tool, not a master. This isn't about deprivation or extreme frugality. It's about intentionality. It's about building a life so robust and internally validated that the chaotic swings of the market and the pressures of consumer culture become little more than background noise. To do this, I turned to a school of thought that has guided emperors, artists, and entrepreneurs for over 2,000 years: Stoicism. For 7 days I followed ancient rules from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who journaled his way through plagues and wars; Seneca, the powerful statesman and playwright who wrote extensively on wealth and tranquility; and Epictetus, the former slave who became one of antiquity's most influential teachers. Their wisdom is timeless, but I wanted to know, is it practical? Can these ancient principles solve our most modern problems? So I applied their core teachings directly to modern finance. I took concepts like the dichotomy of control, understanding what you can and cannot influence, and used it to reframe my investment strategy. I used the practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, to build a more resilient budget. I tracked every habit, every emotion, every spending decision. I kept a detailed journal, noting not just where my money went, but the feelings that drove each transaction. Was this purchase born from need or from boredom? Was this investment a calculated risk or a reaction to fear? And what happened was not what I expected. I anticipated a week of cold, hard discipline and restriction. I thought it would be about saying no to everything. Instead, it became a profound exercise in self-awareness. The goal wasn't just to save money, it was to understand my relationship with it. This experiment became a mirror, reflecting back my own cognitive biases, my emotional triggers, and the subtle ways society's definition of success had shaped my behavior without my consent. This video is the full breakdown of that journey. We'll explore the specific rules I followed, day by day, and how they immediately changed my finances in measurable ways. We'll dive deep into the psychology of why this works, uncovering how modern millionaires and successful investors use these exact Stoic principles to build fortunes, often without even knowing the philosophical source. Most importantly, I'm going to give you the complete system, the practical toolkit I developed during this week, so you can use the same framework to gain control over your own financial life, starting today. This isn't just another budgeting video. This is a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about transforming your relationship with money from one of anxiety and desire to one of purpose and control. So stay with me until the end, because the final 10 minutes contain the part that changed my life the most. The single most powerful practice that tied everything together and offered a glimpse of what true, unshakable wealth really feels like. The first Stoic rule was simple, yet it formed the bedrock of my entire financial experiment. Start the day in control, before the world has a chance to make its demands, before the emails and notifications begin their assault on your attention. You must first claim your own mind. This isn't about rigid discipline for its own sake, it's about proactive mental defense. It's the act of drawing your own map for the day before someone else hands you theirs. The Stoics understood that true power doesn't come from controlling the world around us, but from mastering the world within us. And that mastery begins in the quiet moments of the morning. To understand the depth of this practice, we need to look to the architects of this philosophy. Three men from vastly different walks of life, united by a singular pursuit of virtue and tranquility. First, there was Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. Imagine the weight on his shoulders, ruling a vast empire, leading armies in brutal wars, facing plagues and political betrayal. Yet every morning he would sit down, not as an emperor, but as a student of his own mind. His private journal, which we now know as Meditations, wasn't written for us. It was a personal practice, a series of notes to himself on how to be a better, more resilient, and more just human being. He was practicing what he preached, in the highest stakes environment imaginable. He wrote, "You will meet difficult people today, prepare your mind first." This single line is a masterclass in psychological preparation. He wasn't being pessimistic, he was being realistic. He knew that obstacles, in the form of difficult people, frustrating events, and internal weaknesses, were inevitable. By anticipating them, he could prepare his response. He could choose to meet arrogance with humility and ignorance with patience. In modern finance, the equivalent is just as profound and just as necessary. Our daily battlefield isn't the German frontier, it's the endless scroll of social media, the targeted ads that know our weaknesses, the one-click checkouts that promise instant gratification. The difficult people are the subtle, persuasive voices telling us we need more, that happiness is just one purchase away. So, we must adapt the emperor's wisdom. You will face temptations today, prepare your wallet first. This preparation isn't about locking your money away in a vault, it's about fortifying your mind, it's about deciding in a moment of calm clarity what your values are, so that when the temptation arrives, and it will, you've already made your choice. So every morning I did a 3-minute premeditatio pecuniae, the financial premeditation. This is a direct application of the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. The idea is to visualize potential negative events, not to wallow in anxiety, but to strip them of their power. By imagining the worst-case scenarios, a market downturn, an unexpected expense, a moment of weakness, you rehearse your response, you build resilience, you turn fear into foresight. My ritual was simple. I'd set a timer for just 3 minutes. No complex spreadsheets, no market analysis. Just me, a pen, and a journal. The goal was to externalize the internal noise, to bring the vague anxieties of money into the clear light of day. I wrote down 3 predictable financial temptations I knew I would likely face that day. These weren't abstract fears, they were specific tactical challenges. Impulse spending, like the siren call of a coffee shop on my commute. Status purchases, the subtle pressure to buy something to signal success. And the most insidious of all, digital distractions, the endless stream of deals and must-have items pushed to my phone. Then I wrote one line, a clear and simple affirmation of my intent. These things will appear today, and I will choose differently. This wasn't a wish, it was a declaration. It was a pre-commitment to my future self. I was giving the me of 3 p.m., tired and susceptible to impulse, a direct order from the calm, rational me of 7 a.m. Something strange happens when you expect temptation. It loses power. It's like a magician revealing their trick. When the ad appears, or the urge to buy strikes, your mind doesn't see a shiny new object. It sees temptation number 1 on your list. You can greet it like an old, predictable acquaintance, rather than an overwhelming force. You can observe it, nod, and let it pass by because you were already expecting it. This is the essence of the dichotomy of control, a concept perfected by our second Stoic guide, Epictetus. Epictetus's life was a testament to this principle. Born a slave in the Roman Empire, he endured unimaginable hardship. His leg was deliberately broken by his master, leaving him lame for life. Yet through it all, he cultivated an unshakable inner freedom. After gaining his freedom, he became one of the most revered teachers of his time. His core teaching was simple: some things are within our control, and some are not. Our opinions, our choices, our desires, our aversions, these are up to us. Our body, our property, our reputation, our job, these are not entirely up to us. They are subject to the whims of fortune. Financial freedom, Epictetus would argue, begins with recognizing this distinction. You cannot control the stock market. You cannot control inflation. You cannot control whether your boss gives you a raise, but you can absolutely control how much you save. You can control whether you educate yourself about investing. You can control your reaction when the market falls. You can control the difference between what you need and what you merely want. True wealth in this view is not a big bank account. It's a small list of wants. This brings us to our third Stoic, Seneca. Unlike Epictetus, Seneca was no stranger to wealth. He was a powerful statesman, a celebrated playwright, and an advisor to the Emperor Nero. He was one of the richest men in Rome, and this makes his perspective uniquely valuable. He wasn't criticizing wealth from the outside, he was examining it from within. He knew its temptations, its burdens, and its true purpose. For Seneca, money was a tool, and like any tool, it could be used for good or for ill. It could build a life of purpose. You're drukken suo bisa dispersa badorpiskur mein per biken serbur the prison of anxiety. He wrote, wealth is the ability to live without fear. Think about that. Not the ability to buy a yacht, or a mansion, or a luxury car. The ability to live without fear. The fear of a sudden medical bill. The fear of losing your job. The fear of being trapped in a life you don't love because you can't afford to leave. This redefines wealth entirely. It shifts the goalpost from accumulation to resilience. Modern millionaires, when surveyed about what money truly gives them, say the same thing, just in different words. Wealth equals time. Wealth equals freedom. Wealth equals options. It's the ability to say no to a project that compromises your values. It's the freedom to take a year off to be with your family. It's the option to pivot your career in your 40s or 50s. It is, at its core, the expansion of your own agency over your life. During the challenge, I took this new definition to heart. I created a different kind of balance sheet, one that measured what truly mattered. I stopped tracking my net worth in currency alone, and started defining my wealth as hours of free time gained by automating bills or saying no to draining commitments. Stress reduced, measured by my ability to sleep through the night without financial anxiety. Money saved, not as a number, but as future freedom purchased. And finally, energy preserved, the most valuable resource of all, which I could now invest in my health, my relationships, and my work. This led to a fundamental shift in the questions I asked myself at the end of each day. I stopped asking, how much did I earn today? A question focused on external validation, and I began asking, how much did I keep, which is a measure of discipline? How much did I control, which is a measure of my Stoic practice? And the most important question of all, how much did I need, which is a measure of my wisdom? This shift in perspective, this recalibration of my internal definition of wealth, was the most significant outcome of the entire experiment. It was a profound change that occurred long before the numbers in my bank account began to move. This shift alone made me feel richer. Before, I saved a single euro, because I realized that wealth isn't something you have, it's something you are. It's a state of mind, a fortress of tranquility built not with bricks and mortar, but with discipline, foresight, and a clear understanding of what truly matters. For 7 days, I committed to a budget inspired not by modern financial gurus, but by ancient Roman philosophy. It was a radical simplification, designed to expose the why behind every purchase. My spending was filtered through just 3 distinct categories. The first was simple: necessities. This wasn't just about rent and groceries, it was about redefining necessary. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between what we truly need to live a good, functional life, and what society has conditioned us to believe we need. So this category included my mortgage, basic utilities, and simple, nutritious food, the foundational elements of a stable existence. The second category was the most transformative: tools that make me stronger. This is where the philosophy truly came alive. A purchase qualified for this category only if it directly contributed to my mental, physical, or financial well-being. It forced me to ask, will this asset appreciate in value either in my bank account, my body, or my mind? The third and final category was brutally honest. Everything else. This was the bucket for indulgences, comforts, and distractions. The goal wasn't to eliminate it entirely, but to confront it, to see it for what it was, and to make conscious, deliberate choices about it. The guiding principle was a single, powerful question. If something didn't make me stronger, mentally, physically, or financially, I had to cut it. This wasn't about deprivation, it was about intentionality. Instead of the fleeting dopamine hit from an impulse buy, I sought the sustained satisfaction of self-improvement. A new book that could teach me a skill became a better investment than a new shirt. An hour at the gym, a tool for physical resilience, took precedence over an expensive meal out. This framework shifted my perspective from short-term gratification to long-term fortification. Every euro I spent had to pass a test, becoming either a foundational necessity or a deliberate investment in my future self. The results were immediate and startling. This is how I discovered that a staggering 70% of my non-essential spending was purely emotional, not practical. It wasn't driven by need, but by feeling. Boredom, stress, envy, the desire for a quick mood boost. These were the real drivers of my discretionary spending. I was treating my bank account like a first aid kit for my emotions. This realization was the first step toward reclaiming control. I began to see the invisible strings that pulled me toward checkout pages and credit card terminals. The late night I deserved this purchase after a hard day, the weekend fear of missing out spending to keep up with social plans, the mindless scrolling that ended with a package at my door a few days later. It was a complex web of cognitive biases at play. I was caught in what psychologists call a dopamine loop. The anticipation of a purchase, fueled by targeted ads and one-click buying, releases a rush of this pleasure chemical in the brain. The satisfaction is fleeting, which ensures you'll seek it out again and again. It's the same mechanism that drives addiction. Then there's the scarcity bias, the limited time offer, or only 2 left in stock. Alerts that create a false sense of urgency, overriding our rational thought process, and anchoring, where the first price you see, often an inflated original price, sets a psychological benchmark that makes the sale price seem like an unmissable bargain, even if the item's true value is far lower. Recognizing these patterns was like turning on a light in a dark room. To find a modern master of this mindset, you need look no further than Warren Buffett. He is a perfect modern Stoic example, even if he doesn't use the label. His entire financial empire is built on principles that Epictetus or Seneca would have praised. He wakes up early, dedicating his first hours to reading and thinking, not reacting. He famously avoids emotional decisions, insulating himself from the market's daily hysteria. His decisions are the product of deep, rational analysis, not herd mentality. He buys things only when the price makes sense, when the intrinsic value of a company is significantly higher than its market price. He never, ever buys from impulse. This isn't just a business strategy. It's a life philosophy, grounded in patience, discipline, and an unwavering focus on what is within his control, his own judgment. His most famous approach perfectly encapsulates this Stoic temperament. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. This isn't just a clever contrarian mantra, it's a profound instruction on emotional regulation. When the market is euphoric and everyone is piling in, driven by greed and FOMO, the Stoic investor steps back, exercises caution, and becomes fearful of the irrationality. Conversely, when panic grips the market and everyone is selling in a frenzy, driven by fear, the Stoic sees an opportunity. They remain calm, assess the true value of assets being discarded, and act with calculated greed. That's Stoicism in action. It is the practiced ability to control your reactions when everyone else is losing theirs. It's about creating a fortress of reason in your mind that is immune to the emotional storms raging outside. The average person's financial life is a boat tossed on the waves of market sentiment and social pressure. The Stoic is the captain who has learned to navigate by the fixed stars of logic and self-control, not by the shifting winds of public opinion. During the challenge, I distilled this wisdom into one simple, non-negotiable rule for myself. If I feel emotional, I don't spend. This applied to both positive and negative emotions. Feeling stressed after a long day? No retail therapy. Feeling celebratory after a small win? No treat-yourself splurge. The rule created a mandatory cooling-off period. It forced a pause between the emotional trigger and the financial action. This simple delay was often all that was needed for my rational mind to catch up and ask the important questions. Do I really need this, or am I just trying to buy a feeling? What is the true cost, not just in money but in progress toward my goals? The impact was profound. This one rule saved me more money in 7 days than most budgeting apps, with their complex categories and tracking due in 7 months. Why? Because those apps treat the symptom, the spending itself. The Stoic rule treats the disease, the emotional impulse behind the spending. It's the difference between constantly mopping up a flooded floor and simply turning off the overflowing faucet. By managing my internal state, I automatically manage my external financial reality. It was the ultimate lesson in the dichotomy of control. I couldn't stop the world from trying to sell me things, but I could, with practice, control my response. And in that control, I found not just savings, but a profound sense of freedom. Here are the results. $178 saved with zero feeling of restriction. 2 hours, chai, day gained because I removed pointless scrolling stress down 60%, measured by journaling. Better sleep. Clearer priorities. Better focus on work. But the biggest discovery was this: wealth grows when desire shrinks. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years before personal finance YouTubers. Here are the exact rules you can copy today. 1. Morning premeditation. 2. Define wealth as freedom, not money. 3. Categorize spending into 3 groups. 4. No emotional purchases. 5. 1 daily voluntary discomfort. 6. Evening reflection on choices. 7. Ask, what would I still want if I lost everything? Narrator walks through a complete 24-hour Stoic millionaire routine suitable for B-roll and invideo pacing. After 7 days, I learned something important. A Stoic millionaire isn't defined by the number in their account. They're defined by how little control the world has over them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you seek peace, seek it in yourself first. If you want more wealth, start by mastering the things you can control. Your habits, your reactions, your desires. This is the true foundation of financial freedom." If you want part 2, where I try 30 days as a Stoic millionaire, click the next video on screen.